The hardest thing I think that people struggle with is that somehow being involved, knowing about the business, knowing about budgets and schedules and all that, knowing how much a bathroom costs, knowing how much a pen costs, like all the different components that go to putting together a film will somehow make you less artistic. And I think what it does is that if you know the business, if you know how to get yourself out of a hole, if you know like when someone offers you a solution, that may not be the way to go. What it does is it gives you wings to create the film that you want to make. As a line producer, my thing is that I'm always watching the budget. Hot costs are really, really important. Where are you going? Where are you kind of blowing up? Because a film is like an organism and it can move along really well, and then things will happen and you've got to be able to fix those quickly. It's being on top of that, and nobody really likes crunching numbers all the time or reminding everybody about crunching numbers, but if you're not aware of the numbers, it's going to be hard to get to the end. You start with a blueprint. You know, the budget, that's what you are going to try, and you convince your financiers or your studio or your network that you can do it for this amount of money. And the minute you step into pre-production, it starts to change. A budget is a blueprint for success because what it does is it translates what's on paper conceptually into hard numbers and hard decisions. How many weeks you can shoot, how many hours you can shoot. If you got talent, do you really want to have a baby? Well, the baby, you know, each and every part has to have a value. And I think that that's what you really get to do is value the story points. Do you want to have children? Because then you have to have a teacher on board. If you do animals, then you have to have, you know, animal handlers and all of those kind of things. So it's always, for me, always asking the director why. Why do you need it? And you know, the big thing is because it has a cost. You thought it would be easy, and I think a lot of times dealing with filmmakers, they don't always know the exact cost that things have, that you have to have firemen, you know, that you have to have police officers, you know, all that starts to add up. And the thing is that put your money on the most important shot. I think as we go through the script, my thing is like, where do you want to end up in each scene? Where is that final frame that to you encapsulates everything that this movie's about, everything that this particular point is, where are the characters at? Go there, and then let's work our way back out. And then making sure that we link to the next moment. And I think that that's really, really important because you want to weave the story. I think sometimes we don't think about that, how it has to move. That pacing is so important. And again, that, you know, all comes back to money. And I think it's being cognizant of what the magic is that's happening in front of you and being able to mine those moments, because there's solutions all the time that are presented. You just have to be looking at, you know, who they are. Someone that you didn't think was a great actor can bring something that's, you know, magic. The lights on a street can be amazing. The thing for me is that's what I'm always looking for. Like there's what I've planned to have in front of me and what's going on around, and the magic is what exceeds your budget. That's also part of, for me, in pre-production, is I look for input and insight from the crew. If the director is, you know, precious about that it's his vision, that's fine, but I'm still going to go around and listen to people because there's a lot of talent on set. And I think so often we just don't, you know, we miss that. There are so many MacGyvers just walking around who've been able to do stuff. You just turn to them and going like, what do you think?